nationalization was going to be, was no longer on the table, right? That was key to the Freedom Charter, and that was kind of taken off the table. So marketization, corporatization, and so forth, enormous multinational interests remain in South Africa. The other thing about colonial legacy is that you may not know, because this isn't something spoken about very often, but in fact there are more NGOs, right, working in Africa than ever before.
But of course.
This is the time of, and these NGOs are a lot of religious organizations. In other words, in Kenya, I think they have more American religious organizations working the kind of neo-colonial project than ever. This is 21st century is the century of you know, kind of Christian, evangelism in Africa. Okay. So that's something to think about. And the question of the NGOs, what about NGOs working with poor people? Well, the thing about NGOs working with poor people, again, a kind of neo-colonial way of looking at it, would be, well, who are they looking towards? They report back, okay? Who are they reporting to? They're reporting to the northern donors. They're not reporting to the poor people about what they're doing. They want to have relations with the poor people so they can tell northern donors what they're doing for the poor. Okay? So in other words, within this whole context of what is going on the ground, yes, there's certainly a lot of the NGOs are looking north, are sponsored in Europe or in the United States. I want to say another couple of things about, first of all, I don't want to paint Abahlali as the new society. Okay, it's not the new. It's full of contradictions. They live in kind of drastic situations, and they are, as I mentioned, under pressure from the state and criminalized. So that it's very difficult sometimes for people who take an active role to remain active. Because their livelihoods, however small these livelihoods be, their ways of being sufficient are under self-sufficient are under attack. But the other thing I wanted to say was that Fanon outraged some people, especially now, perhaps more than then, by saying here's that thing in the first chapter of Wretched the Earth where he says the unemployed man, the poor are the truth. They don't have to seek the truth, they are the truth. Wow, this, if you read Homi Bhabha's introduction to the 2005 edition, he's not happy with this. Yeah. But the issue for me is not just a question of kind of objective truth. That is to say that the poor are the objective critique of colonialism. That is to say that they understand what it's about. Land, bread, right? Freedom, right? The kind of the Bolshevik revolution thing. The thing that I want to say is that that this Shaktwellist movement are kind of an objective, subjective element of truth. It's not just that they critique, their very existence critiques the post-apartheid South Africa, but also that they have a critique, right? That they articulate a critique. And I want to end with I'm very happy that I'm the editor of the Journal of Asian and African Studies, so I can represent the Shaktwellists in this thing too. And this is the vice president. In fact, he's no longer the vice president because he can no longer afford to be the vice president. Right? He didn't stand for re-election. They have open elections. Everyone.